Reynolds back in a hurry. Reynolds to the hole.
Cavalier Sports Weekly is presented by the Virginia Lottery, where all profits benefit Virginia's public schools grades K through 12. By clean, safe, reliable propane. Propane, exceptional energy. And brought to you in part by the Virginia Athletics Foundation, dedicated to providing scholarship, operational, and facility support for the Virginia Athletics program. On this edition of Cavalier Sports Weekly, presented by the Virginia Lottery.
Once the balls are flying around, he's in the middle of the fight the whole time.
Welcome to Cavalier Sports Weekly. I'm Mac McDonald. We've got a great show for you this week. The University of Virginia women's basketball team is in Minneapolis, and the NCAA will have highlights of the Old Dominion game, and also there's been plenty of spring sports action. But first, it's our Play of the Week.
The Play of the Week is brought to you by SunTrust Mortgage. We make the American dream come true every day.
It was a fastball. I think he was trying to come in a little bit, but it kind of leaked back over the middle of the plate and was down a little bit, and that's just right where I like it, so definitely took advantage of it. I definitely thought it was going right to the left fielder. When I was running around first, I started hearing people scream. I was like, man, this thing might have a chance. So look up, and right as I looked up, I saw the left fielder jump and miss it, and it was crazy. It was probably one of the best feelings I've ever had. It was just great for the team. I mean, this is every ACC wins big.
It was an emotional day on Monday as Pete Gillen stepped down as head basketball coach at the University of Virginia. Our director of athletics, Craig Littlepage, told the media on Monday that the search is underway and he expects in 4 to 6 weeks to name a new head basketball coach.
I wanted to do two things today, and appreciate you coming this afternoon. Number one, I wanted to take an opportunity to talk a little bit about Pete Gillen, and secondly, to talk about the future. First, Coach Gillen and I have been talking for several weeks about what we both saw as the bright future ahead for the University of Virginia's basketball program, and a future that both of us want very badly for the university. I've concluded as a result of those conversations that there is not a classier person in the coaching profession anywhere than Pete Gillen. He's always handled the coaching responsibilities here at the University of Virginia with professionalism and humility, and I sincerely want to thank him publicly and personally for the work that he's done trying to build our program, our men's basketball program. And I also want to thank his coaching staff and as well his family for the contributions and the great impact that they've made respectively here in this community. Right now it's time for us to focus on the future, and I'll tell you, I'm very excited about the opportunities that lie ahead. I know that this is an attractive coaching position for a head coach that wants to pursue excellence and win championships. We've got all the ingredients to be able to do that. We have the ingredients for success. We have a great institution. We play in a great league, the Atlantic Coast Conference, the best league in the country. And we're going to build we're going to build the best basketball arena, on-campus arena, anywhere in the country. So we're going to seek to hire the top coach available to be our next head basketball coach. We're going to seek and hire the best coach, the top coach available to be our next head basketball coach. I'm confident that we're going to attract a coach that will help bring national prominence to our program, and I look forward to speaking with you more in the next month to 6 weeks when I introduce the new head basketball coach at the University of Virginia. Thank you.
Stay tuned. Virginia game highlights are coming up next on Cavalier Sports Weekly.
Welcome back to Cavalier Sports Weekly. Debbie Ryan's basketball team has had a wonderful season, and yesterday they were in Minneapolis for the second round of the NCAA basketball tournament to battle a team they played in December, Old Dominion. Let's take a look at our highlight package.
Virginia game highlights.
Back to you guys.
One of the easiest baskets, Kim, so far for Virginia on the
They're in the man-to-man, finding the places to take the shots.
good look at the athleticism of Davis, even though she couldn't convert. Tough pass for Kenyon to run down, and she scores.
Clear lane to the basket.
Brandon McGuire way back for three in the first half. Zoll. Nice job drawing Caldwell out and then driving right past it from 11 back in the tournament final to beat in overtime. Three-pointer to Keisha Granberry. Virginia by 6 at the half. They've dominated the first 7.5 minutes of the second half. And the second chance points by Jocelyn Logan Friend. That's the biggest lead of the game for either team. Leah Caldwell was so intent on playing, she was manager for a year, then made the team in an open tryout. This will be a three-point opportunity for Teamer. And those last free throws continue the streak for Teamer. And a three-point opportunity here for Latina. Well worth it, though. In traffic, Krieger following the miss by Logan Friend.
Brian O'Connor's baseball Cavaliers have had their share of ups and downs so far in the early season, but it's a big weekend series in the ACC where the Cavs need to make a statement. Let's take a look at the highlights as the Cavs face Maryland, a much improved team in the ACC.
In these ACC games, they're tight ball games, and a lot of times, especially on a Friday, when you face another really good #1 starting pitcher, that 2-out RBIs are what win those ball games. And if you get your opportunities, you have to take advantage of them. And fortunately tonight, we took advantage of a couple of them. Ballard was outstanding. I'll tell you, he's a Friday night starter. You need a guy like that can pitch deep into the game, that can give you a quality start so you can get on top. And he was outstanding. He showed tremendous poise tonight in that 7th inning where he had multiple base runners on and got that key double play. And I think Mike Ballard can just really flat out pitch. And he's a competitor, and he's going to do a good job on that Friday night all year.
I felt real comfortable out there. Hetty and Coach Caves did a great job calling the game, and the defense was awesome behind me. It really helped, I feel, get me through the innings. They turned 2 great double plays, and it was great. Great team win tonight.
Ryan Zimmerman's home run was a very big home run because it closed the gap. We're down 5-1. He hits a 2-run home run and closes the gap 5-3. Ryan Hudson had a great offensive day being a pinch hitter his last 2 at-bats. He got the RBI and scored the 2 runs in a pinch hit situation when they brought the left-hander in and when he hit the ball down the right field line.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I look back and I see Guyer just bowl over the pitcher or somebody. I didn't know who it was. Still, I was just running around first and just happened to look back after the play and I was like, oh God, what's going on? Yeah. So it was great.
Casey Lambert came in and did what he always does, and that shut the other team down. And he was pitching with a lot of fire, and I knew when we had a chance to bring him in, being the home team, having the last at bat, that we have a chance to win the ball game. And they were fantastic out of the bullpen.
I was just trying to go out there and throw strikes, keep us in the game as long as I could. With our offense, just have to give them time, then they're going to come through. And Huddy came up with a big hit there in the ninth inning. We didn't know how long it was going to take, but we knew if we just kept them in the game, we'd be able to scratch across the line.
It's the inaugural Virginia Spring Sports Festival, presented by WCAV-TV and WVAW-TV, Saturday, April 2nd. For one day and one low price, you'll be treated like a VIP as you catch the Who's hosting Michigan State in women's rowing, Georgia Tech in women's tennis and softball, Miami in men's tennis, Duke in women's lacrosse, and Maryland in men's lacrosse. Your Spring Sports Festival VIP pass gets you lunch, admission to all 6 events, and you can park your car at U-Haul and ride to the venues on a shuttle all day long. Your festival pass, $15 for adults and $10 for kids. Quantities are limited, so call the Virginia Ticket Office at 1-800-542-UVA1.
Coming up next.
But he is a competitive bugger, and once the balls are flying around, he's in the middle of the fight the whole time.
Third-year Matt Ward of the University of Virginia lacrosse team is having a great beginning to the season. Not only is he the Cavaliers' leading scorer, but he's helped the Cavs to that #2 national ranking. So as he takes care of business on the field, he's taking care of business off the field at Monroe Hall, which houses the McIntire School of Commerce. Matt Ward of the Virginia lacrosse team, our student athlete of the week.
The Student Athlete of the Week is presented by the Virginia Lottery. This past year alone, the Virginia Lottery contributed a record $408 million to public schools throughout the Commonwealth.
Being a student athlete is very challenging, especially being in the Commerce School. That's what I came to Virginia for. I knew that it offered a great program in the McIntire Commerce School. And that's why I decided to come here, so I can get the experience of having, the team experience with our lacrosse team, but also getting a great education from the Commerce School. And it's just a lot of hard work, but that's what I wanted to do, and I'm willing to take the time considerations to do it.
He is a comm school student now. He's a third year. And one of the traditions at the comm school is that we are spending a lot of time cultivating leaders here. And Matt certainly fills that role for us. He oftentimes is the straw that stirs the drink downstairs among the students. You'll find him at the bottom of the stairs with a sort of a huddle around him talking about some projects.
In the Commerce School, you're presenting as a group. You're with a group the entire year, and you're doing group papers, and leadership on the field or leadership in the classroom, they carry over and they combine. The fact that I like to lead in lacrosse field has helped me, be able to take charge of some of the group aspects of, Commerce School.
And leadership, I see as a sort of a first-person exercise. There's a lot of guys that are willing to say, let's go, and this and that, but there are fewer guys that are willing to stand up and say, I'm going to do this. And then the most important element is doing it, And I think Matt probably would admit that he's not the most verbal guy on the team, perhaps, but he is always willing to back up his intent with performance, and that first and foremost is what's most important.
Oh, shoot the ball with confidence, stop pushing it to the goal.
Matt's just one of those guys, you can just turn it over to him, he's trustworthy and responsible in every way, but he is a competitive bugger, and once the balls are flying around, he's in the middle of the fight the whole time.
Taking a leadership role in the classroom seems to me to translate pretty directly onto the sports field.
I think our team's capable of going as far as our weakest link. Luckily for us, I don't think we really have a weakest link, and we have, the potential is unbelievable in this team, and if we keep working hard, I think, you'll see a lot of great things coming from this team.
He's an achiever more than anything else, He's somebody that sets goals for himself and then just goes out and does them, because he's so successful in everything he does, He makes up his mind academically, he gets it done. He makes up his mind on the lacrosse field, he gets it done. He's one of those role models on a college athletic team, somebody that just say, look, here's what you're capable of doing, and you set that out for the other players to say, look, we're not all going to be Matt Ward, but we sure can try to be.
With the commitments that you have for being in a tough academic situation, which is the Commerce School, and playing a Division I sport, You have to just be a motivated person, and you know once you get out of school, things aren't going to be handed to you. That your life is going to be a lot of hard work. Most jobs are from 8 to 6 at night, and so it's kind of good. I wake up in the morning, go to class, finish class, go to practice, finish practice, go to group meetings, and I go home, get an hour or two for myself. That's what it's going to be like in the long run, and it's just been a great. I'm learning what it's probably going to be like for the rest, for the majority of my life.
These student athletes that come here are playing 12 months a year. Lacrosse players as well as football players as well as rowers all work out 12 months a year now. So the time tax on the modern student athlete is much greater.
I don't think you'd see me smiling right now if I didn't have any time to myself. But when I get a couple hours myself, I like to watch TV and I like to hang out with the kids on our team and my best friends. And just companionship is something I really look forward to.
Talk about leadership. You're talking about people that are willing to do things, willing to stick their neck out a little bit and actually do something on the field or do something off the field. That can be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's a requirement to success. And that's one of those guys that is always willing to do that.
Matt Ward's counterpart on the women's lacrosse team is third-year attacker Tyler Leachman. While opponents try to focus all their defense on National Player of the Year Amy Appelt, it's Leachman who's getting free and finding the net early and often. She's our focus on today's Who's Heating Up?
Who's Heating Up is brought to you by Propane, exceptional energy.
It is great to have a balanced attack, to be able to go after a team from so many different areas. Amy loves attacking the crease. Tyler's great attacking from the top.
We've had a new offense. We've had a lot of passing and cutting on there. Most of my goals have been assisted either by the attackers or the midfielders. We've had a lot of good looks at the cage, and we've been making a lot of good cuts. I think in a couple games, it just happened to be the one who've gotten open and we've gotten the ball.
She's just a heck of a lacrosse player. Her eye-hand coordination is among the best I've ever seen. I mean, we joke with her like she has tape in her stick because she can really grab a ball from funky angles where it really doesn't look like it's going to make sense or be a feasible catch. But she grabs it, she wraps it in, and then she gets a great shot off. So she would be a very hard attacker to defend because she's doing things that you just don't think are going to really be possible.
Amy had, I think, three assists to me, and she's doing a great job of getting the ball off when she's doubled, and Kate Breslin had a couple assists, and Ashley Hodges scoring, and Carrie's come back and doing a great job. So I think it's more of a team thing. I don't really look at it as just myself.
She's just been, a very dynamic attacker, very steady, very consistent, great head on her shoulders, and, the thought of having her really in just a few games into her third year doing what she's doing, it's really exciting for not only this year, but for the next season as well.
Find out why more people are choosing clean, safe, reliable propane. Visit usepropane.com. Propane, exceptional energy. VirginiaSportsTV.com is your source for free on-demand video coverage of Virginia athletics. From game highlights to exclusive all-access clips of Cavalier teams, VirginiaSportsTV.com brings the action to you 24 hours a day. Simply visit VirginiaSports.com and look for the links to VirginiaSportsTV.com.
Welcome back to Cavalier Sports Weekly. I've always wondered what it's like to stand here and face a ball at 100 miles an hour. Well, the men's lacrosse team, number 2 in the country now, had a big battle yesterday with Towson and remained undefeated. Let's take a look at yesterday's highlights.
The Olympic Sports Spotlight is presented by the Virginia Athletics Foundation.
One of the keys to the game was that even though we haven't been scoring early in games, we didn't score early today, I felt like we could defend them, and you just could see early that Kip was seeing the ball and was going to stop the ball. And so while you're kind of trying to figure out how you're going to make some balls go in the goal for yourselves, at least we were able to keep the ball out and keep them under control. And Kip's performance was just terrific. Coach Van Arsdale at the end of the game said to me, that was absolutely Tillman-esque, and it may have been. Rubior, he doesn't have one good wheel. That was remarkable. He goes in the game and gets those 2 goals early like that. So he gets a lot of credit. The responsibility on offense is going to fall on Warden Christmas's shoulders, and maybe an unfair run of the burden, but that's the way it goes. And I just think we can still get better there. And I don't think, like I said, I just don't think Matt is completely healthy yet. But it's also reason for us to think we have a chance to get a lot better yet.
I had 3 that were one-on-one dodges, and that's, I'm more accustomed to doing that coming behind the goal. But in one of those sets, I got an actual chance to pop up and shoot the ball from outside. And I missed a couple of them. Could have had some more, but I found 2. I found the back of the net on 2 of them. And that was, they were good shots, and I had a lot of time and room. Great passes from our middies. Some of those you're gonna find the back of the net no matter when you shoot them.
In other Cavalier sports action this week.
Thanks for watching. That's Cavalier Sports Weekly. Don't forget the men's lacrosse team has got that big matchup with Johns Hopkins next week. We'll be following that. And the Virginia women have Minnesota in the second round of the NCAA tournament from Minneapolis. So that's our show, and now I've got a little work to do, okay? Oh, one more thing. Go Hoos.
Cavalier Sports Weekly is presented by the Virginia Lottery, where all profits benefit Virginia's public schools grades K through 12. By clean, safe, reliable propane. Propane, exceptional energy. And brought to you in part by the Virginia Athletics Foundation, dedicated to providing scholarship, operational, and facility support for the Virginia Athletics program.